nephews are asking.
Check the email.
My
she
little
sent.
nephew. So like it's
That's nice. She sent it in the email.
yes.
The email.
My sister's like, oh, the kid just saying you liked it.
Oh.
Okay, Sharika's next, so whenever you're ready, Sharika.
Okay.
Over here,
I'm just sending the link to the family.
and Elaine, or maybe Roy, if you want to remove this.
So
I'm
then
just
just
show us live. Yes, much better. Oops. Is it working?
Is that out of the shot?
I'm trying to see.
It is out of the shot.
Rotate device back. Oh, okay. Sorry, do you use Samsung's? How do you increase the light
The lighting there?
in Samsung?
Okay, start liking.
It should here. Of course.
I wiped the phone and now the lighting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. The light will show different.
Okay.
Thank you, Nicole and her team for. Did you make this one? My hair okay, everybody? Nothing sticking out, nothing in my teeth? Just for.
This guy, okay? Okay. Can you please say your name, please?
Sharika,
Yep.
Nikki Clarke.
Perfect. Okay, we're good to go.
Ready? And, all right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. And how's everybody doing? Joining us live on YouTube. Thank you for your patience. We're live now, so don't go anywhere. We've got some great guests for you. And our very first amazing guest is someone I highly respect. She's just incredible, and I can't wait for her to share her story. She's a financial service professional. Please put your hands together for Sharifa Manning. It's so great to see you, and I just always love your outfits. Beautiful, beautiful. Always bring it the bling. Bling, fringe and bling. I love that. So tell me, as a provincially licensed financial service professional, how do you integrate your expertise in insurance, investments, and pensions to provide a comprehensive financial solution for your clients?
I think, Nikki, when I think about how I grew up and not having access to financial literacy, I think that's something that everybody can relate to, is not having that access, right? And I can remember the time when I got my first credit card and the bills were coming in the mail, and I said to my dad, "Dad, what do I do? The bills are coming. What do I do?" And my dad said in his Trinidadian accent, "Sharifa, don't check the mailbox. Don't open the mail." That was
A temporary solution.
a temporary solution with long-term effects. And that was a financial literacy that I got from my father. My mother was a young mother and was just finding herself as well. And when I think about what I do for people, let's talk about life insurance, right? When we look at life insurance, there's two types of life insurance. There's permanent and there's term, right? Term is cheaper, it's like paying rent. But permanent has the life insurance, but it also has the investment portion, which cash is going to go in the policy. When clients are educated that they can actually have a life insurance policy that is almost like a bank account where cash is growing in the policy, automatically they're like, I want that one. However, when you do a personal financial strategy with them and their monthly cash flow is maybe only $20 after paying their monthly bills, right? You cannot afford a permanent policy. You may want one, but temporarily, what can we do? We can give you a term policy for now and then convert it to a permanent later when there's more cash flow.
That makes absolute sense. I love the way you explain that. You know, for those who are, you know, understanding financial literacy, it can be very intimidating, but I love the way you break it down. So when someone sits with you to have like a discovery needs assessment, this is what you break down for them, right? And I think even in this economic climate, it may be difficult for people to even conceive of the idea that they have savings put aside for like the rainy day. How do you kind of influence them that this is the right time, even though statistics are scary? Why invest now?
The earlier you start, the better for you, right? At the end of the day, when you think about changes in life and creating generational wealth and building legacies and leaving an inheritance for your children and your children's children, when will you start? You cannot start later on when maybe there's health issues or you're not able to work or it's going to be more expensive for you to even put into an account. You got to start when you're younger and when they're healthier. So it's giving people that holistic picture, right, of what that's going to look like, and that's why financial literacy is important. So you're not just sitting with me to say this is what you need, but you're sitting to understand why you need it and what are these products, what are they for, and how they're going to benefit you. So then at the end of the day, clients know this is what I actually need. At the end of leaving, saying, you know, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I never was taught this before, and really appreciating it.
The way I think of it is like you can't afford not to, you know, learn about all the options that are available to you and how you can invest wisely. So about how you're able to kind of translate it for people to understand in their own ways of understanding, especially for children. I think they should be taught as early as
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's so important. And, you know, I'm going off of my own experience because I always say, let my life be a testimony without me communicating. So I'm learning so that I can teach other people. It's so important for children to learn so that they can create these habits, right? Because what you say is 21 days to create a habit, right? So it's very important to teach our children these things. And why should we learn from tragedy? You know, why do we need to go over the mountain to learn? Why can we not open the door and go through an open door, right? We don't need to make life so difficult for us. And a lot of the times when tragedy hits, you know, we maybe lose a loved one and then they didn't have life insurance and everybody's scrambling at that time to put it in place, right? So just do the things to protect yourself so that these things don't happen. Put the 25 cents, $3 a day, whatever it is, put it aside so that you can save for that rainy day or when you're not working, for when life happens, for when the car breaks down.
Yeah. What's the saying? You know, life happens when you're finding something else.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time. All the time. Thank you for that. Now, I want to talk about your Resilient Women program. This is really exciting. So this is where you serve, you know, as an executive member of this organization. You educate, empower, and inspire women who've gone through various forms of trauma. So can you tell me about, you know, how you started this and maybe some moments where you've just seen incredible changes, transformations in people?
Oh my. So the Resilient Woman program is actually an extension of the Motivators movement. The founder decided that, listen, we need to have a program, a monthly program that we can have, you know, these women come to learn. And you know, they're, oh my gosh, 6. I have 6 kids, 2 grandchildren, and my daughter that's graduating from high school is like, Mom, I don't know what I should become. What should I do? And I had my weekly meetings with my children, and I said to them, do not live for me. Don't live for your grandfather. Don't live for anybody. Live for you. Go against the grain, right? If my children do not have a university education, I will not be mad. You know why? Because they have God-given gift within them that all they need to do is harness it, and they can actually make that something that they get paid for, right? So
Their gift will make a way for them.
the gift will make a way. And when you see that gift, and when you work towards it, that is what is going to really blossom. And that is what I would encourage young women that are struggling, women that don't know their purpose. Your purpose is in here. Whatever your joyful job is, whatever you get a dopamine hit from when you're doing it, that is your passion. And you make that into a career. Look at what the need is and create a solution.
I love that. That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Rita. Where can we find you?
Instagram, I am Sharifa Manning. I am, and the spelling of my name is Sharifa, Sharifa Manning. And you can also find me on Facebook as Sharifa Manning. I'm also on the Meet the Motivators website as one of their moms, so that's a mentor. So I'm there as a mentor, so you can follow Meet the Motivators, join the Resilient Women Program, join the mission, join to be a facilitator, join to be a mentor, and come see me, and let's build a bridge from your presence to your future.
Rita Manning, everyone. Please follow her on social media. We'll be right back. Oh my goodness. Time for a picture.
Do we pause here?
Well, we're gonna go live. You're gonna see all the bloopers. Hi. That's the beauty of live.
Exclusive team.
Beautiful.
Thank you
so much. All righty. Who's next? Norma? Do you have your book with you?
I'm being told that I should have had my books with me.
Do you want someone to go get it? We'll take a 5-minute break. Did you want to get it?
It's in here?
Yeah, we need to show them. Very cool.
This is her first.
Okay.
Because I'm not seeing.
Sorry, just a good color. I never put it there. Just
Okay.
at Realtor.
What's your-
I spoke about it.
Okay, Realtor.
Yeah, they didn't add.
I'll send you one. This is your phone?
Yes, I'll send it.
Norma, I can't find the key.
They're all her questions. She didn't even do all the, she
Is
made
it in
those
your
questions
pocket?
up on the spot.
That makes me nervous.
I lost my key.
No, we
So,
can
what
take
you
another
do
guess while
is
we
just
sort that out.
Take your time and just don't rush. I do Toastmasters. So you have to just take your time as you speak and allow yourself to pause and like process the question. Don't try to rush. This is
Nicole,
very
would you like to go next? No or yes?
Next after next.
Norma, I don't want to pressure her.
I'm getting some special coaching here.
Then go ahead. Nikki, would you like to come up next? Or Lucilla? What would you like to say? I'm gonna go ahead and
workshop, like I just did one for pineapple.
Yeah, I did a lot, but not my own. My own I started, and
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
it wasn't my business plan this year.
Oh, you
Yeah,
have?
courses and
Oh my
things.
God.
Yeah, you gotta get yourself in other OPS, other people's stages, but you have to get yourself on your own stage. So just do like a workshop, even though you can do virtual, how to utilize the first home savings account to purchase your first home, right? And then you have speakers and you invite speakers onto your stage. Just do it. Just Quantum Leap is just doing it. Connect people, and then you're like, okay, I need you to facilitate or to come on my thing. That's it. Start with a Zoom.
Let's go.
And I'm going to I Zoom one during the pandemic.
It's on social media that it happened.
We had like 100 people. Well, obviously, and then
His social post was like better than MOU.
because business is growing. The thing is, the needs from the clients are growing, and it just needs. I know.
All right, so we'll go ahead and, all right, so bring the energy. Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show live here, and we're at Artistic Decor Venue in Mississauga. So beautiful place. We'll show you more images later. And so happy to be sitting beside another Nikki with the same spelling. And she actually hails from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm so honored that she is here to share her incredible journey with us. So please put your hands together for the CEO of Buy From a Black Woman, Nikki Clarke. Porche, how you doing? Okay.
I'm having personal summaries.
I'll do this. But it's great to see you. So we met last year through H&M. Okay. And now we're here again, connecting, stayed in touch. And I know so much about what you were doing with the program that you started by Black Women. So this started in 2016. What inspired you?
So I went to an event and I was only black woman there. I went to an event that went at Georgia, believe it or not, and I was only black woman there. And I was like, this
In
is-
Atlanta?
In Atlanta. There was no black women. There was a virtual event and there was no black women who were selling anything. There were not even no black people in the audience buying stuff. And I was like, well, this is insane. So I started blogging about business owned by black women. I called it Buy From a Black Woman. And it was a Buy From a Black Woman challenge. Once a week, I would buy something from a black woman. I was just like, oh, I bought flowers from a black woman. Da 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 da. Did you buy from a black woman this week? And then people were like, oh my goodness, how can I put my business on your blog? And the other people were like, oh, how can I send you money? Because what you're doing is so great. At the time, I was working in a nonprofit and I hated it. It was unfulfilling. I was like, well, this is my background. This is what I know. Maybe this should be a nonprofit. People want to spread awareness and people are giving me money. Those are the two components that we say we need a nonprofit. Maybe this could be something. So I started learning how to incorporate, how to start your own organization. And here we are 8 years later.
8 years later. Congratulations. I'll give you a little bit of that. But I think that's beautiful, and it must have, you know, the time, I mean, it's not the best memory of George Floyd and
Breonna Taylor.
Yes, and the blackout. How did that impact what you're doing?
So we had started in 2016. It was about 3-4 years before the social justice uprising happened in America. So we had been doing programs. We already had our grant. We had accelerator classes. We had stuff already in place. So when June 2020 came about and everyone was looking for black businesses or black organizations that help black women businesses, we were right there. They would Google like black women businesses and we came up because our SEO was so good. Our black programs, or black directories, we were at the forefront. We had been doing the work already so much. So to help amplify our mission. Unfortunately, 3 years later, it's back to where we started 3 years ago, which is very disappointing, disheartening. But you know, at that time, it helped us get secure partnerships, secure more funding, more notoriety, and then also people realize that there are grassroots organizations who have been doing the work. They didn't just start because of the social justice uprising. They didn't just start because it was a cool thing to do. too. So it helped reinforce some of the work we were doing, but also other grassroots organizations that we had worked with prior to were able to get some shine as well.
Okay. Now, do you ever get men asking you, well,
All the
what
time.
you buy from a black
You
man?
know, men are just so self-indulgent. But then, you know, when we first started, a man, he sent me an email. A man, he hunted me down to find my phone number to really like threaten me because he was like, why are you only doing this for black women? You're a plant by the government to destroy the black community, blah, 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 blah. But that was long ago. Now,
Blocked.
yeah, you know, that was a while ago. Now we have more black men, more men who are willing to support because they see their mother, their sister, their niece, their daughter, their grandmother in the work that we're doing. That's what we want to make sure people see. Whenever you see black women, you see yourself if you're a black woman. You see a black woman that you know. Everybody knows a black woman entrepreneur. Like you cannot say you don't know any black woman who doesn't have a business. So with our organization, we make sure that every black woman is seen. And if you don't know how to work with us, you know who you're looking for.
Absolutely. So how's it evolved now?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So 8 years is a long time. I've been doing this full time the last 5 years. I have a team who I pay regularly, which is just odd because being able to pay people. Any entrepreneurs out there know, like having payroll and making payroll is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who depend on me for money. I'm like, oh man, I really have to work. So there's that. I have a team. I have partnerships. When people learn about the work that we're doing, they're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea, but now I know. And I always tell people, well, you were supposed to find out about us when you were ready to receive the information that we're having. We were able to actually share other people with it. We work with H&M. We're international now.
Nice.
We're working
Wow.
with the Black Canadian Chamber. Into something that I had a small dream, and then I was told that my dreams are too small. So now I keep dreaming bigger,
Yes.
keep shooting, and
Yes.
there's really nothing I can have.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. And you know I'm behind you. I know you got the Nikki Clarke. So tell me about, okay, so we glossed over it. Now, the partnership with H&M, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So they called us. I mean, like, not to say like that, but that's really how it happened. We received the email with Abby. She's no longer with H&M. She took a personal leave, but she sent me an email, and I thought it was spam, so I Googled her to make sure it was real. You know, I found her on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, she might really work for H&M. Let me see what she's talking about. And we had our meeting, and they let us know, like, hey, we see the work that you're doing. We know that you've been doing the work. We would love to figure out how we can partner with a grassroots organization like yours. And I let them know, like, well, I have ideas already, and that's one thing that I want business owners to know and be prepared for. You know, even if you think nobody's watching, there are people who are watching. When you have ideas about something, you should implement it. Even if you're like, oh, well, I want it like this, but I really don't have the money for it, start anyway. In 2018 is when I really started Buy from Black Women Inspired Tour. It was just me and my Hyundai Elantra just driving up and down the coast, and it was the Buy from Black Women Inspired Tour, and I was partnering with Black women business owners, I was doing pop-ups, I was doing events. So when H&M came, I said, well, I have a great idea. I want to do pop-ups inside your store. Can we make that happen? And that's really just how it came about. And I know I'm making it sound real easy, real simple, but it is when you do the work, when you are prepared for something, when you know, okay, I know I'm going to get here. These are the steps I need to get here. So let me just start getting there, and then the people who can help me along the way will come. And that's what H&M did. They came along the way, and we've been working together now. This is our 4th year. We had the Buy from Black Women Inspired Tour. So the whole month of July, I traveled the country, bringing awareness to Black women business owners, to people who support them. We are going to 6 different cities inside their stores. In addition to that, we're doing 8 different cities where we're doing podcast interviews, community events, a number of different things. We're starting in New Orleans on July 5th, and we're ending here in Toronto on July 27th. At H&M downtown. I think it's called downtown. Downtown. So it's like we're starting in New Orleans with the Black Mecca event, and then we're ending here internationally with some Black Canadian business owners.
Wow.
So we invite all our friends.
Yes.
Yes.
From 11 to 6 p.m. we'll be inside the store. We're actually going to be interviewing Nikki Clarke inside the store as well.
Wow.
So it'll be a live podcast interview. And it's just a great event. We have 4 Black women business owners who are all Canadian-based business owners. That will be
That is so exciting. I'm so proud of you. I really am. And what you're doing is like, okay, today is Juneteenth. You're the Harriet Tubman.
That's a lot of weight, but I'm gonna say that's how I'm
For American Black businesswomen to come and do work up in Canada and vice
Yes,
versa.
yes,
Don't you
yes.
want to do some work in the
Yes.
United States?
Yes.
So she's the bridge.
Yes.
To North Star.
And I'm very excited about that. We were talking, so working with the Canadian Black Chambers and bridging that gap where we're going to bring those women into American spaces and bringing American women to Canadian spaces, teaching them about procurement, getting them certified, so they can get those
Yes.
city and government contracts. So they can also work with each other as well. It's very exciting to me in Goosebumps. It's just.
And getting a Canadian address.
And getting a Canadian dress, I had a Canadian dress, I'm a member of the chamber, and it's just been a very exciting day. I don't take for granted the work that I do, I know I'm very blessed. I know that this is not me at all, this is the creator being, using me as a tool.
Yes.
And it's very fortunate that I get to work for Black women for a living. So that's my job when people ask me, I'm like, oh, I work for Black women. I make sure Black women are seen, heard, and supported. And that's what I do for a living, making sure that Black women know that every day there's somebody out there working that is doing for them. And I'm very blessed that that's my position.
That's beautiful. So you understand your calling. And just for people who are maybe not understanding maybe some of the barriers that Black businesswomen experience, can you talk about maybe one or two, but maybe from your own?
Well, one, we're Black, two, we're women. That's one and two. But, you know, being a Black woman, especially being a Black woman in America, and I'm sure that some of the women here in Canada can relate as well. You know, when you walk into a place, before you open your mouth, they're already telling you who you are. They already have an idea of who you are. Before you share your idea, your business plan, your proposal, your work, or anything, they've already decided, okay, this is a Black woman, this is who this is. Especially with an organization named like Black Women, Black Women, there's no mistake who you're talking to. You know, it's clear you're talking to what I want you to do. So it's one of those things. Black Women Business funding is a huge thing. We have a lot of attacks happening in our DEI space, in our venture capital space. Shout out to Ariana with Fearless Fund, she's being attacked right now. And then what's happening is they're telling us that us as Black women cannot give money to other Black women businesses. So they're taking that away. So that's being strict. And with that comes a whole nother hurdle because now there's corporations who were working with certain organizations, but for fear of lawsuits or fear of this, now they want to pull their funding too. So not only are they saying that Black people can give money to Black people, now the corporations for giving money to Black people are now being, you know, kind of like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I don't get caught up in that lawsuit. In support, there are so many Black women business owners. Like we're leading the numbers when it comes to Black businesses.
How many members do you have?
We have 612 registered businesses in Ontario. But we still need support. You know, every time you think about it, there's somebody who's like, oh man, I wish this was a Black business. But there's literally a Black women business for everything you can think of. But people are not searching, so that's why we have our directory. People are not advocating, so that's why we do the work that we're doing. So we have hurdles, but we're making sure that we're overcoming those to overcome hurdles. It's not something that is using an excuse not to do the work that you need to do.
Excellent. I'm just blown away by what you're sharing, and I'm really excited. So if any one of us here want to become members, how do we do that? And moreover, we'll be a dual member with the CBCC.
Yes. I love it. It's on camera, so you know it has to happen.
It's like an MOU.
No, all roads lead to Rome. We're Black Women, Black Women everywhere on all platforms. Our website is blackwomen.org. Our socials are Black Women, Black Women. To become part of the network, if you have a business, just join the directory. It's an annual fee, but you can dual memberships with America and Canada as well. We have lots of programs that are exclusive for our Black Women directory members. And then just community camaraderie, right? So we set them up with business besties so you don't feel like you're alone in this because Black women entrepreneurship, but Black women entrepreneurship is a very long road. A lot of us are first generation entrepreneurs. We can't talk to our family because they don't understand. Some of our friends don't understand. You start losing friends and you're like, I thought you were my best friend, but because they're not a business owner, they don't understand your struggles. So you can't even have those conversations. So we make sure you have that type of community as well. We focus on your financial wealth. We have resident tax attorneys. We have a resident copyright IP attorney. We have a resident time management person. So like we have a lot of resources within the network to help you. We have shout out to our resident publicist because she's watching right now, and she helps as well. So there's a lot of things that we have that other organizations just are not doing when it comes to Black women businesses.
I know that. So what's next for you?
Oh my goodness, a lot of things. So I'm just going down, the whole month of July, I'm touring, the country, like I said. Next weekend, I am in New York for Pride with the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. I'm going to be their ambassador for the weekend, so I'm very nervous because it's a lot. We have that.
New York is a lot.
New York is a lot. And then we have our Black EB meeting coming up for Black August, and we're making sure Black women are seen, heard, and supported.
Okay, well, I applaud every effort. I'm so honored that you're here on the show. You've come all the way here to the North Star to share your good word, and I'm so happy for all your success. So thank you so much for this. Again, how can people follow you on social media?
Yes, so go to buyfromblackwoman.org, Buy From Black Woman Instagram, TikTok. My personal socials are a Black Woman. I'm very on brand. A Black Woman website is my personal website. And just Google Buy From Black Woman and we'll show up.
And she does show up. I sent her the invitation not too long ago, and she's like, got my ticket. So,
And that's the thing, we have to show up for Black Women.
Yes.
show up.
Yes.
Nikki Clarke, everybody, reach out to her.
Great.
Oh. Paparazzi. Oh, then you're.
Did you say buy from Black owned business? Or buy from Black women? Black owned.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nikki, Instagram with Buy From Black Women.
I have one for you.
I'll tell you, this is awesome.
Not this one.
Ma'am?
Buy From Black Women.
Buy From a Black Woman.
Buy From a
Your
Black
questions,
Woman.
you can have that.
Yes. B-U-Y.
Buy From a Black Woman.
Yes.
Would anyone else like to
Sure.
Yes.
I'm already following you.
You ready?
I love afros. I love some sweat.
Wow,
Yeah, of course. No problem.
that is amazing.
Okay, so we'll start in about 2 minutes.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing online? Can we see some comments? How do you like everything that you've heard? Sharitha Manning and Nikki Clarke dropping some incredible pearls of wisdom.
Thank you.
Yeah? Okay, the green screen. When you see the edited version, it's not going to be green screen. It's going to look totally different, but this is it. This is how we
Oh, this is nice.
a little show here.
Really nice.
Thanks for joining us.
Picture of Michael.
Yes.
And the kind of match. Oh, yes, we do. I'm gonna move over, let's scooch. Just gonna check.
Oh, here's on that. I know.
What's that? Yeah, okay.
Well, no, what's that, what that is, but, what's that number, is 478.
Okay, hold on.
That's Nicole.
Okay.
478,
Mm-hmm.
213,
213
588.
5889? Okay.
How many people are on? I'm sorry I'm not able to read your comments. I hope they're nice ones. Good, thanks for joining. Can you read a couple of them? Do you mind?
Sure.
Read out loud just to acknowledge.
Great
There.
interview. It's a Black Girl PR. It's a great
Black Girl
interview.
PR, shout out to you, thanks for joining. Who
Yeah.
else?
Freddie Cavongo. Love it.
Freddie.
Says love it. Thank you. Luis Solomon says hello.
Hello.
Let Girl PR says, hey Nikki.
Hey, girl. Thanks for setting this up. Nikki was
Nicole.
amazing.
Hello.
Hello. Ça va bien? Waiting for Star. No problem. Happy to accommodate. We'll put this down so we can see your full image, full beauty. Oh,
July 27th,
yes.
8 to now.
Yes.
What time again? 6?
No. Whatever you. And we can.
I don't have my
lean in.
card.
It is live, but we have an understanding. Is that an exclusive group? Get that, yeah. If you wanna say something again? Oh, I tried. I'm not a makeup artist, I'm not good at it. Okay, but thank you. Thank you. Complimenting. All right. Right, thank you for joining the Nikki Clarke Show, another wellness check. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much. I know it's a little warm outside, but you're so cool. Yeah. Oh, well, I am so happy to be sitting beside this lovely lady, and somehow we picked it up. We got the telepathy right.
I told you from the day I met you. We were complimenting each other by our names, by the outfit we wore. We followed each other, found that we have similar outfits too, that we both wore to the weddings, and there's something about something that's going on here.
There's something that's going on here. Well, I love it. Yeah. So please, I would love you to meet realtor, real estate investor, and friend Nicole Kabongo to the show.
I do go by Nikki, and I tell people that if you call me Nicole, that's an indication that maybe we're not that close.
Okay. Tell me about your background. I'd love to know a little bit about, the story leading up to the incredible success that you are. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Congo. I was born in the Congo Kinshasa University, but my family and I migrated to Canada since I was 12 years old. I got to live in Montreal, see the best of the Francophone world, and also actually grew up primarily in the GTA, in Hamilton, Mississauga, and Toronto. And right now I live in the Ottawa region.
Okay, shout out to Ottawa. You're watching. Bonsoir. Excellent. Well, Montreal. We're in Montreal. I'm not originally from Montreal. I mean, born in Jamaica. I grew up in Montreal.
Okay, so I was really young, so I don't know Montreal that well. I was 12, but I think we were in like La Salle, Verdun, area. Yeah. I didn't get to explore the beauty of Montreal while I was living there like that. My parents took care of me and everything. I wasn't on my own. So.
Right. Do you go with your family now to visit?
Yes, we're
Yeah.
very close. It's just a couple-hour drive, so it's a beautiful city to do a staycation, visit the islands, and I have much more appreciation for it when I go visit than when we live there.
Yes. So I'm from Ville-Marie in Montreal, so that's where I was at. A little bit about who you are. As I said, a great success in the real estate world, but there's a story that kind of got you there. So 13 years in sales management. How did that kind of develop your skill set, your mindset to becoming a real estate investor?
Yeah. So first, my inspiration of getting into real estate and becoming a realtor comes from my natural passion of making the world a better place. As you saw as part of my biography, I do care for the needs of people.
what is it that I can do with the experience that I have to be able to impact our community? So I realized that with real estate, I can have direct impact to people's lives using bringing knowledge and my real estate experience to the table to be able to educate whether they're young, mid-level, or families that can relate to me, and showing them how to build wealth through real estate. So it's a really big passion for me, and my skills in sales prepared me well to have a successful realtor career because it equipped me with great negotiation skills, great ability to build relationships with people, and just having a caring mindset where you can sit down, not think of the sale, but be able to have through a conversation and understand the needs of people and build a strategy to help them get to where they want to be in the future, keeping in mind that wealth is the purpose of why I'm doing this to help our community grow.
I love that. So tell me maybe one or two strategies that you would kind of incorporate into the plan with your client. What are some ways that they can
Absolutely.
walk?
So first, before I get into a transaction, I sit down with my clients and do a needs assessment. It's about them, it's not about me. So I want to understand what is their motivation in whether they're looking to purchase or sell their home. Why do they need to do what we're doing? Where are you at financially, right? It's a huge decision that one person makes in their life. So I need to understand where their finances are, be able to hear them out so that way I can really be able to walk them through that journey successfully. So that's one of the strategies that I use and ensure that they're well educated with the current market, which is really important. Maybe every transaction is different, every client is different, so we cannot bring one experience from one deal to another. So understanding that specific client's need and then being able to tailor my services and exceptional customer service to help them achieve that need is really one of the key strategies in being able to help the individual reach their real estate goals.
Absolutely. And I have to congratulate you on being top producing agent for a few quarters. Is that correct?
And last month as well.
Okay, so last month. That is incredible.
So
That's
it-
not easy to achieve either.
Yeah, it's a recognition, to be clear, recognition among a group of EXP, which is the brokers that I work with. Agent Unleashed is a group of about 300 or so realtors, and I was top 10 for the month of May. Yeah, thank you for the recognition.
Absolutely. Well, there are more accolades coming because you're very humble, but you own 5 properties, and you did that within 2 years of being a homeowner. Explain yourself.
The number one thing where it comes back to where I said I got into real estate and helping my community is information. Information is key. The other speakers at the beginning here said being in the right room with the right people. Growing up, we didn't always have access to this information. I started my career really young. I'm still young, but knowing what I know now, I said, oh my gosh, I could have done and started this a long time ago. I think at the age of 22, I was a manager for one of the top tier corporate companies here in Canada. I had some savings. I didn't have debt. I didn't have all the things that we're struggling with today. I could have started investing, but then I was, with people who maybe felt like, no, don't stress yourself. Life is easy. Think about that for what you're
Go shopping.
Go shopping. Let's spend it and live. I had no stress and all of that. But how I got there is through education. When I got into real estate, obviously with a license, you study this stuff, but I needed a commitment to understand finances and how it works and how the rich get richer and the poor stay poor in this country. There's a big movement of a lot of people in the community investing or leaving Canada because they feel like there's that glass ceiling when you can't go above that. And I was like, well, how did other communities do? What are they doing? And obviously real estate was one of the things. So gaining that knowledge and reading books quickly helped us to make a big move. Like I lived in the GTA for over 17 years. This is home. This is a place that I know and I love. My friends, my family is from here. And my husband and I made a decision to buy a property during the pandemic outside of It's underrated, super in development right now. Everywhere you go, there's trends because of the move from leaving, the GTA, migrating into Canada. There's a lot of international students, a lot of movement happening in Ottawa. So with that, I was able to speak just naturally. Well, there are these opportunities here, this opportunities here, and our friends are like, hey, look, we have background in this and that, but we believe that you're the expert in when it comes to real estate. How about we partner up together and do something, and that would make us go further, not just faster. I said, well, you guys can do it on your own too, because actually we had already invested outside of province again in Edmonton, and for us it was a time where we were like, okay, that's it. We just bought a house and went through all these, finishing the basement, all these expenses, and then we took another leap of faith in Edmonton, and now you want us to invest again. I'm gonna take a break. They're like, no. You share the vision that I hold in my heart, saying that we want to do things as a group. We want to go really far, and we can do it further. And they're wealthy enough to do this on their own, and they wanted to partner up with us. We're like, okay, done deal. Yeah, and just like that, because it fit into what I already believe, that was lacking enough for Nikki, that teamwork and knowledge, and it literally happened within 2 weeks. Also, it takes being financially ready, right? Making sure that you have good credit so that when opportunities like this come up, you can jump on it. Don't sleep on your savings. Just being financially ready so that when great opportunities come up. So we jumped on it, got 2 units right across from the only Ottawa's premium outlet mall. When I tell you guys this city is underdeveloped and underrated, that means this is the time. If you need to, think about outside the box, it's the time to come there now. I think we're still a little bit behind compared to those who got there a long time ago, but it is the time. Please reach out to me, come there. It has 1 outlet mall, no concert halls. All of those things are being built now, so the potential is there, and the home price average is still significantly low compared to the GTA. Yeah, we grabbed 2 units, went to see the builder, just like that. Did a pre-approval with 4 people. You get a lot more. You're like, what? I have a 1.2 million for what? Me, who was rejected by the banks before, or didn't understand finances, and boom, counted all 4, and then with another family properties back home. So yeah, just like that in 2.5 years, turned into 5, and even tomorrow, this weekend is a webinar that I'm hosting with my exclusive group. Again, we were looking into multi-units investment in Quebec side, where there's so much information with builders, where the government is looking to build all these units and looking for investors to fund it, and they will bring in tenants, they will pay for it. So much great information as well, honestly. So excited. I didn't think we'd be doing another one, but it's like, let's learn, let's think about it, and let's jump on it. Sorry for that long answer.
No, I'm ready to jump on that.
Jump on it.
So Ottawa is where the boom is.
It is, absolutely. In other parts of the country as well. Don't limit yourself in just what we know now. Part of the reason why most people in the GTA that are living in these big homes a lot, because they started investing in real estate a long time ago. If you're young like me, or if maybe you don't have the family background or real estate here to support you, think outside the box. Go to Alberta, go to Edmonton. If you don't want to live there, invest there, put tenants. The earlier you start, the better, because with real estate over time, despite the fact that we're kind of in a little bit of economic crisis right now, over time, over the years, your home will always appreciate, because land always appreciates. It never loses value, maybe the home, but your land will always appreciate, and then you can use that towards growing and expanding your real estate portfolio.
I'm so excited. I'm speechless. I have land that I inherited in Jamaica. Yeah, a few acres.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah, we'll talk.
Let's do that. It's nice to always keep something back home, but thinking about, maybe how you can pull from that. Because the Canadian real estate market is one of the hottest markets around the world. Because, we're only how many people in this country, and just with the plan for immigration, so many more people coming in living in shelter, and right now,
is still very much low inventory. So that means the government is having these programs to partner up with investors, to build more homes with the city plan. So having capital, being capital ready and credit ready, it's really what's going to set you up in order to grow and investment.
Set you up for success, definitely. I just wanted to say that I heard throughout your sharing, which was very comprehensive, was that you were led by a lot of faith. And I know as a woman of faith that's really part and parcel of who you are. And you're involved in a number of kind of Christian initiatives. Do you want to talk about that?
Absolutely. Again, my purpose, whenever I'm invited to something, whenever I'm asked to do something, I think about how does this align with my purpose? And my purpose is obviously in making a world a better place. So I am a valuable contributor to our Christian community. For the past decades or more, I've been involved in the children's ministry, where we are raising and inspiring little ones to grow in faith, right? So I'm a children's minister, and also at some point I did some youth mentorship. Currently, I was nominated and elected as the chairman for Ottawa 99.1 FM Christian Hit radio station, where it's a sort of governing board where we get to vote on initiatives and ensuring that the general managers and the board is running this radio station and staying true to its purpose to inspire people in faith-based content and being able, if there are government rules, preventing us to do certain things, we come together as a board to vote on, okay, how can we tackle this? How can we change this area? And it's near and dear my heart because then I get to service the local city well, where I also volunteer for. I get to learn more about the different initiatives that are happening in the city. I get to be a valuable contributor in terms of sponsorships and donation to the local Christian events or positive events, anything where I feel like I can give back. And right now big shout out to the March for Jesus. Just want to throw March plug in there. Happening from July 13th. This is the second year around, and I'm a proud sponsor of this event because it gets all the faith people, regardless of the denomination, regardless of anything, to come and spread the good news of the gospel. We're not protesting, we're marching, bringing the faith and just spreading the word, praying for people. Do we not need a little bit of motivation and good news to fuel us daily? So, yeah, those are the initiatives that I get to learn as a partner with the Christian community, and I love that when it comes to me and looking for sponsorship, donations, and I'm always there to back them up.
I love it. Thank you so much for that. So just wrapping up our chat, if you could look into the lens and someone who is French speaking, give them inspiration for going into real estate right now. Briefly in French.
In French.
Oh, say.
French is my first language, but English kind of took over. I do speak it really well, but everything comes naturally, the English sense. Mais j'arrête de limiter, toujours penser au dehors du box et essayer d'intégrer et vraiment d'investir dans le pays où nous sommes. L'anglais est très important, so faire un effort de l'apprendre et social media, you can find me at Realtor Nicole Kabongo. If you just type Realtor or Nicole Kabongo on Google, you'll find all my socials and everything. And I also do have a personal page where I continue to inspire the Christian community called Child of God.
Thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Nikki. We'll be right back. Awesome.
Amazing.
See you. I got you. And Jerusalem or no? Who would like to go? You're with them?
Yes. Everyone's doing so great.
Yes.
Near. Let's see, who's there? Welcome to the live. Thanks for joining us.
Oh.
So, all is well, right? I've been getting your messages and setting you up nicely. Anybody need a fan? Okay. Give it up. Nice. Darla, you got the book? Yeah. Oh, fantastic, all right. All right, welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. How's everybody doing? We've been having just an incredible time just learning from each other. Some stellar guests, like really, I'm so honored that you're here and you have faith in the show to share your journey. So thank you for, inviting me to be a part of it. So I have another Curly with me on the couch. She's another amazing woman. I met her last year in London, and we kept in touch, and she's got quite a story as well. So I'd love for you to meet the founder of Berhan Immigration and Settlement Services, Inc. Please put your hands together for Jerusalem Berhan. Yes, thank you for making the trip from London. Now, just for clarification, not London, UK. King's London, but London, Ontario. It's more a city. Yeah, we've got international viewers, so we gotta be clear with that, right? So tell me a little bit about, where you were from originally and coming into London as your first place, which is
Toronto.
Toronto?
Yes. So originally, I'm
to be from two beautiful countries, Eritrea and Ethiopia. So we. Yeah. Oh, an Aston, yes, an Aston, good job. So yes, so we're privileged, to be from both countries, speaking two different languages. So I came here a long time ago, and yeah, beautiful country here. We started our families, and here we are today. Awesome.
So you speak two languages. You speak Amharic and Tigrinya.
That's correct. Right. So Tigrinya is the Eritrean main language, and Amharic is the Ethiopian main language. So we grew up speaking both languages. So when I first came to Canada, I immigrated myself, as I mentioned, many years ago, to Toronto. And it helped me as I was going to school. It was a great opportunity for me to be interpreting, right? So using those two languages. And at the time, there were not a lot, the community was not large to be able to go out and work as an interpreter. So for me, I could set up my own time. I'm going to school. I'm able to speak Tigrinya and interpret for my community, and as well as Amharic. So yes, so that's an amazing thing to know languages. Is great.
It is a how many languages do you speak?
Well, the three English, yeah. But I wish I could speak French. Was one thing that I wanted, but unfortunately I didn't get an opportunity. And we did live in Italy for about a year. We did speak it, but then when we don't use it, I lost that.
It's in your long-term memory.
Yes, yes. When you hear it, it kind of comes back. We did go back a year ago. So when you hear it, you can understand that to be able to speak it. I'm like, yeah.
It's like me. I know some Italian, but it comes and it goes. But when I go to an Italian restaurant, it's like Mamma Mia!
She was Jamaican.
Yes.
It's a beautiful language. Yeah.
It is romantic. So your expertise in the immigration field spans over 2 decades, right? So tell us about success stories. I'd love to hear how you impacted the lives of people who came through and saw you through services.
Yes. So it's just, the clients that I work with, everybody's, the end goal is a success, right? So I love that I get to work from refugees that are coming here, being sponsored by their families. So these people are at the refugee camps or in transition for 5 years, 8 years. So when you see them coming to Canada and landing and getting their landing paper at the airport, that's just the most exciting thing for me to experience, right? It's very gratifying to me and to their families, and we're changing their lives as well, right? Or international students. They come here, they spend so much money, and they're transitioning into permanent residency. So that's another success stories. And families reuniting, right? Some spouses would come here, and then they have to bring their, their other half, and also their children. So with my work, that's why I love it, and that's why I do what I do every day. I don't work happy, and I work long hours because I enjoy it. Is that you have different stories. You're dealing with different families, singles, whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's very exciting. It's every day is exciting.
And you work very hard to tailor different immigration solutions. Can you think of one particular success story? I know you've had many, but is one that kind of
Yes. So we do get. So I'll speak because everybody has kind of a way. So when they come to us, they say, well, I have no status, and I didn't know, and I didn't renew my work permit or study permit. So once they are out of status, if they get caught by CBSA, the next step is to be deported, right? So that's where you come in and you go, okay, what's the next solution? What can we do? And we assess that and say, okay, can you go back? Is there a harm if you go back to your home country? And there is a category called humanitarian compassion, and that's reserved for everybody. So agency is mostly for family out of Canada and taking them out, but whether they have their status or not is going to affect their children. So agency, which is short for humanitarian and compassion, is a way to change the status, and it takes them to permanent residency. So I have recently actually done a very difficult case where we had a child that came here as a 16-year-old, and because of the things that were happening back home, without having to mention a specific country, that we were able to get her to stay with her aunt for humanitarian and compassion. And so what I mean to say is that when they're out of any other options, humanitarian and compassion is what we go with, and it's very evidence-heavy, right? So we have churches writing letters, we have doctors writing letters, so it's kind of, and then it takes a long time, but at the end of the day, it's the most satisfying thing to see, because the next option is to go back home and to get them to be here as permanent residents is very satisfying.
So I have a question, asking for a friend, living in the States. They're a businesswoman, and they're thinking about migrating to Canada. What's the process? What would you tell us?
So if also that person is here, I would say the age, right, the education background, the assets, so we can look into different, because Canada has over 100 different categories, right? So everything plays. So what does your other half do if they're married? Do you have children? Is there that channel? How old are you? Because there is a category that's express entry, Canadian experience class, or the federal skilled worker, they're using their experience from outside Canada. But if they're older, then they lose points, right? So that's why we check with age, with education. So that's how I assess people. So normally we do a 15-minute discovery call, and then from there, if we see that there are options, then we go for a longer appointment, and we give them that kind of roadmap on where they can start, where they can go. And they can even come as investors, right? Canada does accept coming in as an investor, especially if you have an innovative idea. Yeah, and we do need more women business owners. So yeah, definitely.
Now, asking for a friend, another situation. This person went on vacation to a tropical location, and they met someone, they were smitten, and they have this relationship back and forth, right? So they believe that this is the one, and they want to get married. How would that process work to bring that person over to Canada?
That's actually one of my favorite situations, because I get to read their love stories, and, I get to see their pictures from, how they met, the honeymoon, the wedding. So it is good. So if the person here is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, and they can sponsor as long as they're working, and no criminal record, right? So they can bring their spouse as a spousal sponsorship.
How long does that take?
It depends on the country, right? So we get sometimes within a year that the application is completed, and also if the person is a visa exempt from a visa exempt country, they can come here while the process is being pending. Okay. So yeah, call me. I want to help them. I want to see that story, love story. And, yeah,
How
it's
you
my
brought it
favorite.
together?
Yeah, this is my favorite thing. Yeah.
So, living in London, well, you have two offices in London and Woodstock. So relatively, what is the distance between the two so that people?
About 45 minutes.
45
Yes.
Okay. So it's in the 519 area, so those, living in Ontario. And so tell me some of the, maybe the highlighted services that you offer. We talked about some,
Yeah.
but what do people regularly see you for?
Okay. So the London market London is very diverse. It has grown a lot. So we see the spousal sponsorships. We see corporates, is people that have businesses, and they cannot, now with the labor shortage, a lot of people are trying to bring foreign talent, right? So we have businesses like that. We have international students Conventional College, Western. So we do get a very diverse system. Whereas in Woodstock, it's more of an agricultural and manufacturing environment. It is growing too with its international students from Fanshawe as well, but it is different demographics that we work with, and I enjoy that a lot because it gives me that diversity with what I do. So I like my niche mostly is labor market impact assessment, assisting employees to bring in foreign nationals to work for their companies. And sometimes, if the business is owned by immigrants, they want to bring their relatives or they know somebody who can do really well in their business, so we help them with that. It's called a labor market impact assessment. I won't go too detailed into it, but it's an excellent path because then this person that comes in can only work with that specific employer, right? So there is no turnover, there is no training over and over, so it's an excellent system. So that's what we work with. And another thing that I want to mention also is that we also are co-founded, as you know, the Black, we call it Black Africanus because it's for Black immigration consultants, lawyers, and those that work with the schools for the visas. So this is to help because generally speaking as immigration, the process you asked me how long it takes, and I said it depends on which country, is that for applications that are being processed out of Africa, we see that unbalanced processing time, right? So applications are delayed, applications are refused for no apparent reason. So we came together and we co-founded this non-profit organization so we can advocate for our own people, whether they're refugees here in Canada or wanting to immigrate to Canada, just to provide them that just system of the immigration process. That's why.
I love what you shared. I'm an immigrant. My own story happened 3 years old from Jamaica, and my parents were invited as young adults to come to Canada through the immigration policy. So at that time, people from the Caribbean were invited to come to Canada, and I think they saw people like my parents who were skilled laborers. My mother was a teacher, my dad professionals in sales and that. So yeah, that was quite an experience.
Those were the good old days.
Those were the good old days.
Immigration then was so much easier, and now it gets tighter. But yeah, it's nice. It's good to be in Canada, giving opportunities because people can excel. Right, that's how gives us. If you want to work hard, they do. And I love seeing our clients as well when they come here and they get into the system. They start their own businesses. It's just a fascinating thing to see.
It is. Can I ask you a question? Can I take a selfie with you?
Yes.
Here we go. Just put your head in.
Yeah.
All right. Just taking a selfie. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. So tell us, how can we find you on social media?
Yes, so we're Burhan Immigration. That's the name of the business. You can go to our website, www.burhanimmigration.com. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find us on social media if you Google in Jerusalem or Jerusalem. My name is easy to remember, so you can find us that way as well.
So, thank you, sir. Thank you. Fantastic. Please reach out to Jerusalem. We'll be right back. Let's take some more selfies.
How do we spell the Bohan?
Burhan, P-E-R-H-A-N-E.
Okay, who's next?
H.
Here, help me pass this around, take a picture. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe Roy can help take some selfies with them. Thank you very much. And Norma. you're up next.
Berhana.
Great job, thank you.
sorry, Rahana?
B-E-R-H-A-N-E.
H-A-N-E.
If you have cards, feel free to.
Okay, thank you.
How's everybody doing out there? All right. How about you send me your selfie? Take a picture and send it to me.
Nikki, I'm gonna need it now. I have a 6-year. She doesn't like taking pictures.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on the show. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for her. Nikki Porsche is leaving. Thank you. Gotta go back to.
Okay, Nikki.
Yes, bye,
Yes, we'll
Nikki.
talk.
Oh my gosh, I have this one. I don't have this one. I have this one. These are on my bookshelf. This is the latest one. Oh, I don't know if we got set up yet.
No.
It's right here. It's just, it's on the black shirt, so it's hard to see. So how do you feel? I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for all the social media love. You're always liking and commenting. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Yes. I'm so proud of you. Oh, thank you. This is it. Yeah, we need to talk about this. Okay, Cody's adventure. Oh, look at Cody. Is this your Cody? That's my Cody. There's your color. Real kid, real kid. Oh, from your street, you know those. Oh my gosh. They're reading my first book. Oh. Cody is so spoiled. Right? Cody's face. He looks like he's very. Nine. He likes to there. Playing this down. Who are all these friends? There's like 10 dogs sitting together. I don't know. And they're posing nicely.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. How did you do that? Where's that squirrel? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's start. Are we ready? Okay. How many is this our fourth or fifth reading? Fourth. We can make it 5. Yes. All right. And thank you so much for joining us here at the Nikki Clarke Show. It's just been an incredible evening, an evening of upliftment and inspiration, and I hope you really enjoyed it. So I have the pleasure of introducing a friend of mine. She has been on this show as a regular guest now for, we're going to say the 4th time, but there'll be a 5th. And she is here to talk about her latest book, and Incarceration of Black and Minority Youth. So please put your hands together for the incredible Norma Nicholson. Thank you. Congratulations on this. This is amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Now I know you quite well. We've had the pleasure to work together to inspire you, and thank you for what you did. It was a youth forum that you put together a few years ago, and you invited me to be a keynote speaker. But I think your story is just incredible. If you don't mind sharing a little bit about your background as it connects to why you're so passionate about supporting youth. You want to share?
Oh, I don't mind. I'll shorten it.
Sure.
Born on the island of Jamaica to a single mom. She was only 14, so she gave me to my grandmother to raise me. And my grandmother has always said, you were born for a purpose, and you will live your purpose. and I'm living my purpose. I think, Nikki, you mentioned about many years ago when one came to Canada, it was coming as an immigrant from the island. And I just had a touch on my shoulder from one of my classmates from high school. And he said, come to Canada, my mom will have you here. You'll just grow and grow, and that's exactly what has happened. See, it's very short.
But it's still a great story of transformation, sort of where you are now, and what you continue to do. How many years young have you been in this?
46 years
46
as a
years
nurse.
as a, yeah, so you're a retired nurse, author, community advocate, and at some point you worked with Peel Police.
I was the chair of our Peel Police Services Board for 5 years.
5 years. And served very
The
long.
only black woman on the board.
That's incredible. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for what you've done. And I'm just going to hold up these books, which I have on my shelf. So thank you for gifting them to me. But if you'd like a copy, Norma has a couple books out. This is the first one that I was that came into my life. Young Lives on the Line. You can make a difference. Again, addressing youth advocacy. And then this is a great book about Norma's journey as a nurse, walking miles in sensible shoes, because nurses and teachers always have sensible shoes, right?
Yes.
They're quiet.
Not to wait for patients.
Not to wait for patients, sneak up on students. So there's a great book that you can get from Norma. And then I didn't know that you actually have a children's book, Cody's Adventures.
3 of the series.
3 of the series. Is this the first of 3?
Yes.
And he's so cute. So take a look at Cody Nicholson. So doggone cute. There he is. And some pictures of his friends in there, as well as his colleagues, furry colleagues. So now that you have published The End of Incarceration of Black and Minority Youth, tell me what drove you to write it, and maybe some of the lessons you want to learn.
I was just looking at the computer one day and thought, oh, there's an ad that says they require healthcare leaders to commission, meaning building everything for incarcerated youth. And I thought, most youth that are in jail are black males. And though I have not done this kind of work, I have the leadership skills to do this job. When I told my colleagues what I was ready to apply for, they said, you want to leave a hospital and go to work with kids in jail? And I say, I want to give back. And I can still hear my grandmother saying, you were born for a purpose. And I felt in my heart, that's the purpose. I went to the interview. It was a round table with all Caucasians. And I did not feel any way different. At the end of the interview, I said, please employ me because I know about healthcare that blacks require. And he shook my hand and I left, and 2 hours after I got home, he called and asked if they could check my reference, and I said, yeah, and after you check my reference, when do I start? So
Love it.
this is an empty spot of land. Now that it's all built, it looks exactly like U of T campus. You would think that there's students behind the wire fence. So I worked at the Roy McMurtry. I had the opportunity to hire everyone at the beginning. So I hired physicians, doctors, dentists, nurses, everyone that I felt could provide proper health care for black kids. I trained the youth service officers with collaboration from my director, and of course, when you're doing the interviews, you just can't sit and do an interview, you must interview with others. So as I saw these young people being getting to know them, I realized that, for example, one day the census, meaning the number of children that were there, was 160. Not thinking about the girls. Girls were incarcerated, but they're on another campus. Though the boys could jump over if they wanted. So there were 160 youth, aged 12 to 17. And as I go out, I'm diverting a bit, as I go out and speak to our community, they don't realize that we have the largest jail for our children in the province of Ontario and in Canada. So as I got to know these youth, and there were 190 of them on the census board one day, and then I thought, as the nurses and others go around, I really want to get to know these kids a bit more. So I would ask permission to go in when they're seeing the psychiatrist or the psychologist, and I learned that not one of those kids required incarceration. You may disagree with me, they're blacks. White, Caucasian young men, they may be incarcerated overnight until they get bail. And then they are bailed out by whatever money, or they're taken in by family. Black children very rarely get bail. They stay there until they're child. And I talked to these kids and I thought, there is something that I can do to change this trajectory. Having written about my own life in my first book, and to look at what opportunities there are in Canada, my goal was to find out why are these kids here, not the crime they committed, what were their root causes when they were born and they were growing up. What has happened to their lives, why they end up here? And some of them readily told me there's no need for any incarcerated youth to speak to a nurse to say, I'm in here because I stole a car. The nurse's focus is healthcare, and the psychiatrist's focus is healthcare. So if they want to share, then we just allow them to talk. But it is from working with those hundreds of children, and there are about 90% Black, a few Indigenous, a few other minorities from all over the world. Even the girls, you may find one or two Black females. Look at the reverse. One or two Black females are incarcerated. All the incarcerated girls are Caucasians. So that's something to lead with. So I felt I needed to do something. So when you work in those institutions, you have to abide by the rule, and rules are made to follow. So I could not have a youth come and sit in my office without a guard and say, this is something you may want to consider because I'm not a social worker. Yeah, so now that I'm retired, I get to share even the trauma I experienced. And so, if I may, in this book, not only does it have tools for what parents should be doing from their kids are 2 to 3 years of age till they get to be teenagers, but what are some of the signs and symptoms to look for? Because you may have Johnny who says, Mom, I don't want to go to school today. And you say, but you look fine. Why don't you want to go to school? I'm just tired. I want to lay down. And when Johnny goes to see the doctor for a physical, for something else, Mom does not say, can you check the mental health of my son? Yeah. And Johnny could be suffering from depression, but it is much easier to fake being healthy than to say, I am depressed. So I have this wonderful opportunity as a retiree where I not only write and use my books as tools for education, but I'm allowed into everywhere that I can think of. I'm allowed to talk to new police recruits. I'm allowed to speak to young people in schools. I'm allowed to go to the libraries and speak to the librarians, because sometimes the librarians will say, all these young people, they come in here after school and they wreck our library. And my question is, what do you do to help them? And you see, assumptions that we all make, I'm just as guilty, assumptions that we all make prevent us from coming up with solutions. Yes, because you see a young man walking out there with his pants below his waist, and what assumption do we have right away?
He's a thug.
So I not only go out to speak at facilities and spaces where there are young people and parents, I go to annual general meetings, because I may be asked to come and speak to why is it there is violence in the Black community with our young people. And what I do is ask permission to say, how can we help our Black young men to keep from violence? Yes. So I not only do that, I volunteer. I volunteer with an organization called the Associated Youth Services of Peel. And what our organization does, it's a government organization, so I get to talk to lawyers, justices, etc. I do the diversion program of young Black women that are in trouble with social media. They're not jailed, this is diversion. So an officer or counselor in the school could see an iPhone with major, terrible Black hole things that kids are sharing with each other. And the counselor will say, please come to my office, let's talk. And they have to call the principal, and the principal will call the parents and the police. Because some of these young people don't know that it's a crime to take a picture of a naked classmate and put it on social media. So Section 13 of the Criminal Justice Act says it is a crime. Therefore, what the officer can do is either refer that young person to a diversion program or put that person in jail. And you see, yes, yes, it is very pervasive. And that leaves me wondering, how do they take the iPhones away from high school students? But there has been lots of report that says when the phones are taken away, that first week, the students are angry, they're sad, and they're talking to everyone that will listen. But when the following week you go to places like the cafeteria, or in the hallways, or in classrooms, they now connect with each other and they are talking. They're not in their own world. Yes, so the work I do, I see the blessings coming down. I give expecting nothing in return. And if someone says, I'll pay you a honorarium, and I say yes, and that even leads me into working with seniors, because seniors have such a positive effect on their grandchildren. And I get opportunities to go out and speak to seniors. And then I'm on the board of a seniors complex, where I also help those seniors manage their lives and their grandchildren. So it's open world for us to share and to give back.
I think you're just amazing. What a marvelous life.
Yes.
So much. You're such an incredible advocate for mental health, and I have to say that
books are on Amazon. If you go to Amazon, Norman Nicholson books, they will all come forth. You can always read the first 3 or 4 pages on Amazon before you purchase a book. I also have a web page of my own, which is normafnicholson.ca. It's a Canadian web page. I'm on social media, so I just updated my profile on LinkedIn today.
Woohoo! Love it.
Yes, I have a wonderful friend here, Tresha. She helps me with Instagram. And then I have a senior that came with me from where I'm the director on their board. So all my books are out there and they are very good read. Because I just want to say, even you will get the pleasure of having children's book. Children are teaching me. An example of walking with my pet along my street, and the kids say, why don't you have a book with pictures of Cody? So I had a 14-year-old help me to get this together. A 14-year-old who was not able to get a summer job. And then when I went to speak to the librarians and we talked a bit about adopting a pet for folks that are busy working, going to work, looking after children, they may not have as much time to give love to a pet, but a pet creates a routine.
Yes.
You better get up and go for a walk. You had better introduce this pet to the other pets on the street. And so having Cody, children, just see their eyes light up when they read a book and just read the pictures. 5 and 6-year-old can read this book and only read the pictures. And then when they're able to formulate sentences, then that's the time they start reading the narratives. So not only does it build literacy, it bonds the parents and their siblings, and they have fun and stay away from the TV.
Awesome. This is great. Well, your Cody reminds me of my kid. I have a grand puppy. And we just had a conversation like that on the phone while he was walking my daughter. So it's always good to have Cody and Reno in my life. Awesome. Thank you so much, Norma. It's such a pleasure. So I guess we'll have to plan a date for the 5th and the 6th and the 7th. Come back. Yes. Do you feel like you have more books?
Yes.
Again? Yes. Awesome.
I have an illustrated book right now with Cody, talking about emotions, and I use it to teach young people. Yeah, because I actually do paid work too, 1 hour per week, where I teach an after-school program for Black and minority children who are behind in school, and therefore, like tomorrow, I'm teaching them about love and forgiveness. And the week before I talk to them on leader, I say, anyone can be a leader. And they say, no, miss, I'm not a leader. You are a leader because you were the first to speak.
Awesome. So speak to a leader right now on camera, watching you, a young leader. What could you pour into them right now?
To be a leader, you do not need a title. You just need to have someone identify the skills that you have. And you can also identify your skills and have someone really highlight them for you. And if you have a mentor, that even makes it better. So be a leader wherever you are, volunteering, helping someone across the street. You are leading into better things.
And even if you say something first in class, you're a leader.
Yes, yes, as long as it's respectful.
As long as it's respectful.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. This has been an incredible show. I learned so much, and I hope that you got something from all of the interviews that you can take away and to apply right away into your life. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Nikki Clarke Show. We're going to take a break for the summer, but we're going to come back with some amazing guests in the fall. So stay tuned. You can see more episodes of the Nikki Clarke Show on www.nikkiclarkenetwork.com. And also, you're going to see the interviews on Afro Television within a few weeks. So it just keeps going. The stories of transformation just keep going and going. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Love you. God bless you. Have a good night. That's it. It's a wrap. Thank you. Thank you for those watching.
I think Afro Caribbean Global is Kenny.
Right?
Thank you, Astrid.
Everyone was so great.
Everyone was just amazing.
I feel like I learned so much.
I know, absolutely amazing.
And like we're all connected in the passion.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, which is excellent.
Got it. Thank you. I have
It was nice to meet you. Great work behind the scenes.
Thank you. I love your presentation.
Oh, it did?
I love your presentation.
Hi, Mello.
Well,
How are
it's
you?
good time, you know?
Yes. I really love your presentation.
Yeah. It was so nice to hear you saying that word. I would definitely bring you into virtual presentations. Yes. Okay, there's a lot of international students in Ottawa, like African, French-speaking countries, because in Ottawa, every program has to be also given in French. A lot of French immigrants.
Slowly, slowly, it's been building up. How should I possibly? Yes. Finish them.
So yeah, let's take some pictures. There's the selfie thing. Where's the selfie square?
I'm gonna turn off the light.
Selfie square, yes.